The main reason for the complexity of the intellect is the ego. The intellect itself is the main cell of the memory fund. Any simple intuitive person can impose it forever, without doubt, and being impartial to himself, understand himself by himself. One can get acquainted with the permanent introduction, undoubtedly and alive. He has understood every mystery of the definite possible death after understanding, which till date no one has been able to do in any time era. To understand himself, every simple easy person is capable of being able to understand himself. To understand this, no other's instructions need help, because the memory of one's own intelligence is to be removed from every instinct of the fund. Here is my achievement, that I have extracted only that cell of the memory fund, by which I have extracted the house of all infinite vast creation. Taxes get confused and remain unfamiliar with one's own permanent introduction throughout life. When one understands himself, then nothing remains to understand in the whole universe. Understanding himself by being impartial to himself, in the same moment, permanent stay of his own infinite subtle depth. I find it present forever in the permanent introduction. It is not reflected in its permanent infinite subtle access form. The only reason for showing many copies of one was only a cell of the memory of the intellect, only one cell of the memory of the intellect, the memory of the same intellect of the memory corpus of the same intellect. After deactivating the cell, the existence of the whole creation intellect ends. After that, it can never come into the common personality forever, even if I try to make crores of efforts myself, only in the whole universe. I am completely in the whole universe. I have become invaluable. Apart from me, every person living in his precious gems is selling his precious gems for life. For life did not destroy a single breath or a single moment of the whole life for himself, because I have understood that one breath which came, life did not come anymore. Death. I always live in the same moment of today and now. Tomorrow and next tomorrow is only for fools. Creation is not life. There is only permanent introduction of oneself. Death is death. Time breath is called life or world, and getting entangled in it is the biggest foolishness. It is, in the point of view of the intellect, one cannot understand himself by being intelligent from the intellect, because the completely complex process is to be entangled in the intellect. Bhakti, meditation, yoga, practice, faith, belief, love, mantra, Shah, Shahi, Ki hair entertainment or a business can be a business, undoubtedly fame, reputation for fame, wealth, and there is absolutely nothing at all. The word, rub, is only by simple, pure people, high status, to address the Guru, high status, high level category to address. If the Lord would have found the Lord, simple easy people would have found it. To find the Guru, to find him, it is the tendency of the memory fund of intellect, which determines more complexity. If one aspires to find something other than to understand himself, then he is only to serve his own interests. Is using in which your precious gems will waste your breath time, your body time. Breath is complete only for you. Showing someone else's privateness is only interfering for selfish interest. At all costs, your priceless heritage of time, breath, simple, easy, pure, perfect qualities are using which understand yourself. Your nature is the best only for you. There is only one thing to use for others. Whatever you do only for yourself, it is better that no one else can pay the price of your one moment. You yourself can pay your own millions of temporary characters. Of these, only one able to understand a permanent character who is a permanent introduction of you. There is no one else. Consider yourself only like you. If the Lord would have found it easy, then why go to the Guru to find people? Then to find the Guru, the memory of intellect is the focus of the fund which determines more complexity, if one is motivated to find something other than to understand himself. If he does, he is using it only to serve his own interests, in which your precious gems will waste your breath time, your body, time and breath is the whole only for you, showing someone else's privateness as only interfering for selfish interest, intervening for selfish interests at all costs. Breathing is simple, easy, pure, the best qualities, use them to understand yourself. Your nature is the best only for you, there is only one thing to use for others. Whatever you do, it is better if you do it only for yourself, then it is better that no one else pays the price of your one moment. You may be able to understand only one permanent character out of your own millions of temporary characters, who are your only permanent introduction. There is no one else. Understand only yourself like you. Whatever the other is understanding by seeing the other, it is only the main dimension of the intellect. Till date no one has been fair in himself in the whole universe. He could not understand himself. Then how would he be familiar with his own permanent introduction? How would he be familiar with his own impartiality? That cell of the memory of the intellect for his own fairness. It is very important to be inactive, due to which all of them remain entangled by appearing to be entangled till death, due to a stupidity, due to a foolishness, they have become busy in promoting imaginary beliefs which only blind faith, fanaticism, stupidity gives rise to malpractices, themselves. After understanding this, the whole creation is directly visible only in the entanglement of foolishness, of which he was never a part of. After understanding himself, he is able to understand the reason behind the confusion of the whole creation, because by being fair to himself, he is able to understand himself. By understanding, one is familiar with his permanent introduction, all the temporary elements are devoid of qualities, understanding is avoided from the ego, which is possible from the point of view of intelligence, because there is no option in the point of view of intelligence, it is necessary to give priority to nature to understand oneself. It is that from whose elevated nizam the human body was born, everything was created from temporary elements and in the same infinite vast physical creation body, infinite complex process in the same infinite vast physical creation body, it would have been so easy to introduce that infinite subtle form of intellect to that permanent access form, then by today, and the texts of one or the other past are found described in books. Till date only the recognition of the mentality of the personalities of the past has been promoted to blind faith. By frustrating the intelligence of crores of people, by tying the rules of Maryada tradition, only fame and reputation for Daulat Beg, understanding of the attitude of intelligence is the understanding of science, meditation, which gives rise to two different idea stream, one believer, religious thought stream and the other atheistic thought stream, both of which are the only human species engaged in corrupting the rule of nature and the fall of nature. She has gone a long way, who is always restless to establish her own temporary existence, whereas man has to understand the reason for being the elevated body, because it is necessary to understand that since the rule of nature was furious, ever since passing through the level of understanding has come only for 1,000 years. Earlier, the level of understanding of this was started. Today so much science has progressed with the knowledge that the cause of all the threat to the downfall of nature and the human species itself is the source itself is the human species. The believers have become millions of different factions of the religious ideology. Assuming their rivals, they are lagging behind to destroy the existence of each other, whose ill effects are being faced by every country abroad. The biggest enemies are of human race and nature, then believer religious people and other atheistic philosophical people. I am not the one who is neither. I support the religious ideology of the believer, nor do I support the stream of atheistic ideology. Both are done from the point of view of intelligence. I am always fair with myself. For this reason, I am in reality by understanding myself. For this reason, I am in reality in my real introduction to my simple, easy, pure principles and facts. With arguments, after understanding oneself, so much purity, clarity, fairness, competence, clarity, satisfaction comes that sometimes even for a moment, one cannot move away from the introduction of one's own permanent axis, the ill effects of which every country is facing a foreign city, the biggest enemy is of human race and nature, then the believer religious people and other atheist philosophical scientists. I am the one who neither supports the believer's religious ideology nor does the atheist support the stream of thought. I am. Both are done by being intelligent from the point of view of intelligence. I am always fair by myself. For this reason, I am in reality by understanding myself. For this reason, my simple, pure principles present in my real introduction, with facts, arguments, after understanding myself so much pureness, competence, clarity, fairness, competency, clarity comes satisfaction that sometimes even for a moment it is not able to move away from its own permanent axis form. To understand itself, why is it necessary to destroy one's own temporary existence itself? To understand the permanent introduction of one's own, simple personal personalities are only enough to understand yourself. When you are fair by yourself, the level of purity only increases more, they increase with reality and intensity. And living only after death, considering it possible to be possible and stays in reality forever, only with its permanent introduction present in its infinite subtle depth, permanent stagnation. Here there is no place even in the reflection of its infinite subtle axis form, and there is no way to be something so simple. The main purpose of engaging the intuitive pure person so much was that being intelligent from the intellect from the point of view of intelligence, only human beings get involved in weaving the web of conspiracies, by which the whole infinite vast material creation only wants the nizam of the nature of the material creation, whether the believer religious thought, whether it is from the stream or from the stream of atheist, every instinct of the memory fund of the intellect, the devil smart clever artist Ritwik is the vicious crook. For a reason, exactly, for one reason, I am absolutely of the thought stream originating from the mentality of crores of people of the past. It became necessary to understand by studying, and a moment of deep discussion was needed to contemplating each moment's breath, understanding the importance of time. It was a better option to use it, it was a better opportunity than getting entangled in others, when I got my own supreme master for 35 years. After that, Anant Gambhir could not understand my love with my common personality, simple, easy, pure qualities. Then understanding myself in a moment and found myself in reality forever in the same moment, it proved to be meaningful for itself, only for itself, otherwise with only one understanding, the other only interests. Uses for cultivating fame. The main reason for the complexity of the